All right, we are live, I think. We are live here. Let me know in the chat. Let me know if you can hear this AI music now. This non-copyright AI music. Mark in the chat. Here we go. We're live. Say something nice about Memphis. I'm just gonna pause for 15 seconds. Say something nice about Memphis. Memphis, they let me down. I don't have anything nice to say about Memphis. They lost to a Mountain West team. What nice thing can you say when you lose to a Mountain West team? Can you guys hear this music? Someone in the chat. Or else I'm just bopping my head to nothing. I'm using a new streaming service. It's a great time to test it. Let's get into it. It is the round of 32. Now, usually how I handle March Madness is I give out my picks for the round of 64 at the start of the week, and then I usually record my picks for the Saturday's round of 32 on Thursday night, and then Sunday's round of 32 games on Friday night, but that's not the way it's working this year, because not only is March Madness going on, I'm also in my final days of living in New York City, so I'm going out every night. I'm trying to live it up while I can before I make the move back to Canada, so I'm not around at night. I'm not as locked in as I usually am. So I actually don't have my picks for the round of 32 in, so I said, you know what, screw it, let's do it. Fuck it, let's do it live. So I'm going to go through the games, at least for today, and then we'll see how we're doing for time. And I need you, the viewers, to actually help me make some of these picks as well. I need some input because it has been a rough start to March Madness for you, boy. Sawyer says, Vols pick their number tonight, UCLA, team total under. I'm not usually a team total guy, but convince me. I like it. Vols defense, very good. Let me just send out a tweet here, because I'm live on Twitter. I'm also live on YouTube. And on Twitch. So let me just send out a tweet here, and then we're going to get into it. I'm going to do a quick recap of the bloodbath that I suffered the past 2 days. Take a quick look at my bracket, and then we'll go game by game. I know the first game was, a little after noon Eastern? McNeese against Purdue, I believe. We'll get into that. Let me just send a tweet. The round of 32. What a world. Already 2 days into the tournament. I need your help, please. YouTube and then Twitch. If anyone watching has a best bet for this week or for today's games already, drop in the chat. I'll get to it, because I might need it and I might steal it. How about that? I mean, what I'm doing is not working, so maybe I need to tail some other people's plays. All right, there we go. Tweet sent. Let's get into it here. Things started off hot Thursday morning with a 4-0 run. I then sent a tweet, which I am a veteran better. I should know not to tempt Gambler, but I did anyways. I went 4-0, hit the over in Creighton, Louisville, hit Purdue to cover, Wisconsin to cover, Houston to cover, 4-0, and I tweeted, what if I don't just lose? What if I don't lose another bet the entire tournament? Since I sent that tweet at 4-0, I have gone 8-20. Because right now I'm at, no, not 8-20. 6-20 since I sent that tweet, because I went 12-20 in the first round. 6 wins, 20 losses since I decided to tempt Gambler, the gambling god. So not a hot start. Let's I figure this out. New streaming service. Oh, look at that. We're gonna look at my screen here. Let's take a look at yesterday's action. Started off 0-4. Tough it seems like every single bet that I've had in the mix in like the final seconds has all gone against me. No excuses. It just is what it is. Mississippi State, Baylor, heartbreaker. Alabama wasn't in it for a second. Memphis, Colorado, heartbreaker. They're winning, first half, in it the entire second half. Colorado State pulled away late. Mountain West. Not only did I lose my bets yesterday, but my Mountain West take did not look good with both Mountain West teams winning. St. Mary's stormed all the way back there, even covering there in the last minute. Got a ball which was like Vanderbilt fouled them, but the refs just let the clock die in the last second, run off the clock instead. So St. Mary's, heartbreaker at the end, did not cover, even though, look, I'm getting some CLV. It just does not matter. Shout out Norfolk State for covering for me. I went 1-1 NHL. I didn't even tweet those out, but slight profit with a Boone Jenner plus 105. Troy, my big upset pick this season, did not. There wasn't a big upset. So no matter who you targeted for, who was the biggest upset? Was it McNeese? Was McNeese the biggest upset of the first round? Liberty, nope. Did hit the under in Bryant, Michigan State. Illinois covered for me. Oklahoma against UConn, nope. Close, but no cigar once again. And the overs weren't close, either in Arizona, Akron, or New Mexico, Marquette. Mountain West came back to bite me yesterday as well. Just yesterday, would have been hard for yesterday to go worse than it actually did. Birdman in the chat, Texas A&M minus 2.5 best bet. All right, when I get to that game, I'll consider that, Birdman. Although I'm not a Texas A&M guy. They can't shoot. I got my cat, Daisy. She's meowing. Do you want in? Why don't you hop up? Get on stream. Show the people your face. You haven't been on video in a while. My bracket, no one's bracket is dead. Unless you took a crazy team to go late into the Final Four, your bracket is still alive. How many double-digit seeds are advancing to the second round? Like 3? Not many. My entire bracket rests on Maryland, so as long as Maryland stays alive, I'll be okay. Missouri was the one heartbreaker for me. I had Missouri in my Elite Eight, and they lost to Drake. Hate the Drake. I got a perfect Midwest bracket so far. Nailed McNeese. It'd be nice if McNeese could beat Purdue as well. Little preview into what my pick for that game is going to be. I'm going to take McNeese. But yeah, I think, like I said, unless you had a crazy call for your bracket, it's probably still very much alive because none of the big favorites lost in the opening round. Like I said, who was the biggest favorite that lost? Was it Clemson? It must have been, right? Because there wasn't anyone lower than a 12. And the only other 12 that won was Colorado State, and they were actually favored. So yeah, I think McNeese was the biggest upset. You know what? That makes for a boring opening round, but it does make for more exciting later games for sure. All right, let's start getting into some picks here. Yesterday was a disaster. The day before, not great. Ooh, I wish I could sort this by. Okay, I'm just gonna have to. Yeah, I wish I could sort this by NCAA tournament. Only what's this? NIT Dayton against Chattanooga. No, we're gonna skip that one. We are going to skip that one. McNeese against Purdue. Listen, I talked McNeese up early before the tournament started. They were kind of my dark horse team. They looked very impressive against Clemson. Allowed Clemson to come all the way back, but Clemson unfortunately just ran out of time a little bit. I'm gonna take the points with Clemson. Sawyer, what's Sawyer saying? Total has been bet up. Spread gotten tighter, but I love that for UCLA, Texas Tech under. It's inflated, and UCLA hasn't played a defense as tough. I love that for UCLA. UCLA team total under. It's inflated, and UCLA hasn't played a defense as tough as Tennessee's all season. I like it. I'm just not a team total guy. I'm not. Can I just take full game under? Maybe I'll take full game under. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. McNeese. Like I said, I haven't actually taken notes and handicap, so you're going to get a little inside view for how I handicap these games, or at least a very streamlined version of it. Look, 81st in the country in effective field goal percentage. McNeese is, not the best, but where McNeese kind of shines. Yeah, Purdue's much better shooting team. Look at this for McNeese. I believe, 21st. This is my favorite stat. I've been talking about this all tournament, and maybe it hasn't really worked out for me in the first round, but McNeese creates those extra scoring chances. This is what won the game for them against Clemson, because it certainly wasn't their shooting. It is their ability to create those extra scoring chances, offensive rebounds, forcing turnovers, 21st in the country, plus 4.7. Purdue, I believe, Purdue's defense is what gives me a lot of concerns about Purdue. I don't really need to handicap these games as deeply as I normally do, since I've been looking at these teams now for like 2 weeks straight in the conference tournaments and in the first round. Purdue's defense, 208th in defensive efficiency. Not great. Not great. I think McNeese can take advantage of that. I think they can force some turnovers. Let's take a look quickly where Purdue ranks. They a good defensive rebounding team. I'm going to guess they're probably pretty solid here. Nope. Not great, below average, 231st in defensive rebounding. Yeah, I like McNeese. I think McNeese might be the only Cinderella team in this tournament. What is the best number? Now, this is BetStamp. This is what I use. These are all books that I think are connected with BetStamp. I stick the same rule where if I'm going to give out a bet, it needs to be one from a sports book that is regulated in the state of New York. So we're mostly sticking to BetMGM, Caesars, DraftKings, and FanDuel. It looks like it's plus 6.5 across the board. Bad number there, DraftKings by smidge. Yeah. Okay. McNeese plus 6.5. We're locking that in for the first bet of the day. What is the next game? Ooh, fun one. Arkansas against St. John's. That is Patino. That is Coach Cal. I went against Arkansas against Kansas in the first round. Kansas really let me down. Anyone in the chat has a take on this game? Because St. John's is a confusing team. They are a team I've tried to bet against a lot this season. They are elite defensively, arguably the best defensive team in the tournament. I'd say probably second best next to Houston, but they can't shoot. Which it's hard for me to lay points on a St. John's team that can't shoot the ball. We're looking at effective field goal percentage here, 231st. In the country in effective field goal percentage. That number has gone up a little bit in recent games. That's a good sign for their momentum heading into this game. But Arkansas is not really a great shooting team either. 94th. I mean, obviously better than St. John's, but I don't know if that's enough where I want to take Arkansas. We didn't really learn anything about how good the SEC was. Probably underperformed, but still some SEC teams had some impressive performances as well. Solid defense for Arkansas. I know St. John's is a 2-point shooting team. Arkansas is as well. Who defends? I'm going to guess St. John's probably defends the 2-point better. Arkansas 76th. Ooh. Yeah, this is a tough one. St. John's obviously elite. Because it's just like St. John's shooting is so bad that if they can figure out the St. John's defense, or if any team even gets hot with their shooting, like for an entire game, like St. John's just doesn't have the shooting to keep up with them. Hess in the chat says, I don't believe in St. John's long-term, but Arkansas showed me nothing the first round. Kansas played terrible. Yeah, I agree. I did watch that game. I agree that was more Kansas played horrifically. Yeah, I don't think Arkansas is the team to take down St. John's. I think there is. Let's look at the bracket. Let's take a look at their path. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be Missouri. I thought Missouri was going to have the shooting to do it. Texas Tech is going to be the team that can beat St. John's in the next round. I don't think Arkansas is. And I don't think this spread is big enough. I don't, I would set the spread at like 8. So maybe like a tiny edge. I mean, minus 7.5 there, minus 105. Birdman, what are you saying? Oh, we're talking A&M here. A&M gets more out of their possessions and limits effective possessions from their opponents, and Michigan turns the ball over too much. That's true. Michigan, yeah, that is true. The A&M defense can do a lot of things against this Michigan offense. But yeah, effective possession ratio. Yeah, yep, that's one that I certainly look at as well. Yeah, that's a good point, Birdman. Yeah, we'll take a look at that game a little bit closer when we get to it. I think I am going to lay it here with St. John's. I just don't think Arkansas has the facilities to get past St. John's. Minus 7.5, minus 102 with DraftKings. I can lay it on the number minus 7 at Caesars. Obviously, the DraftKings number is better than the BetMGM number. Where is FanDuel here? FanDuel has Minus 6.5, minus 118. Ooh. I need one of those calculators to tell me which one is the actual best move. You know what? I need just give me. I'll eat the juice. By the way, I gotta actually place these bets. And I want to make sure this is just because that's kind of a line stick note. I want to make sure that is actually live. I'm just gonna log in my FanDuel here and make sure it is. Oh, that's right. I can't bet on St. John's in New York. Oh, I got to place that offshore. Okay, I'm going to have to do that after the stream. But I will lock in that FanDuel number. Let me make sure that is live. I'll just go to the New Jersey version of FanDuel. Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. I got to lock in the first bet. McNeese, the Cowboys. Although I will say something about McNeese, I'm kind of over their student manager. It's fun, it's cute, but like everything else the internet does, it just drives something into the ground until it's not fun anymore. McNeese plus 6.5. Come on, let's have one team go on a little bit of a Cinderella run here. All right, we got the first two picks in. McNeese plus 6.5, minus 110. St. John's minus 6.5, minus 118. Against the Hogs. Birdman, effective possession ratio equals possessions plus offensive rebounds minus turnovers divided by possessions. Yes. It is a good stat. It is a good stat for sure. Here it is. Oh, okay. Birdman, we got to your game here. Let's So Texas A&M's laying 3 basically across the board, 3.5 at DraftKings, minus 102. Ooh, that FanDuel number sticking out again. Minus 2.5, minus 114. I suppose that is the number if we want to lay it with Texas A&M. But you make a great point, Birdman, because like look, this is my issue with Texas A&M. He's great, but there's so many. Hess says he's great, but there's so few Cinderellas. It's overdone. Yeah, that's a great point. There's no other Cinderellas for them to focus on. Every Cinderella has a mascot. Last year, I guess Oakland only won one game, but is that guy who just was wet from 3. St. Peter's, it was like that short, like dorky looking guy. Loyola Chicago back in the day was what's her name? The nun, Sister Jean. Every Cinderella has its mascot. McNeese's, which actually makes me the fact that he's this big of a mascot makes me think they're going to win a couple more games, and then he'll be like go down in March Madness lore. So this is my issue with Texas A&M. 309th in effective field goal percentage. That's last amongst all remaining tournament teams. The only team who ranked worse than that in the tournament was Alabama State. I just hate betting on bad shooting teams because, when a bad shooting team gets cold, nothing is more frustrating to watch because they can't just put the fucking ball in the hoop. I probably got to exit this out. But I see what you're saying, Birdman, because, yeah, if we go over here to turnovers, I mean, this is why Texas A&M is as good as they are and do have the record, because they just create those extra scoring chances at such a high rate. Michigan's like outside the top 300. Yeah, 330th in turnovers, like close to dead last in the country in turnovers. It hasn't gotten better lately. 19.3 turnovers per possession over their last 3 games. That's exactly what their season average is. So it's not like they've improved on that mark. And then Texas A&M's got to, I'm assuming Texas A&M's pretty high in forcing turnovers. Or I think it's more offensive rebounds that they're good at. But still, 58th in opponent turnovers per possession. How is Michigan at defensive rebounding? Because I think that is where Texas A&M really shines. 141st. So we go offensive rebounding. Texas A&M, the best in the country. 40% offensive rebounds. As a result, extra chances per game, it is Texas A&M behind only Houston and St. John's plus 6.8. It's a great argument, Birdman. Now, you are looking at effective possession ratio as well. Texas A&M's obviously going to rank high on that. They don't really turn the ball over much. All right, Birdman, I'm riding with you. I'm not high on Michigan. I'll ride with you. Let's go. I like that number at FanDuel. This one, obviously, I can bet in New York, so let me just make sure this line is live. If books are going to give me like a lower number but a little bit more juice, I'm going to take it today because I just need to get some wins. You know what I mean? Texas A&M minus 2.5, minus 114. We're locking that in. What's going on here? There we go. Tell you what, my FanDuel account took a hit these past couple days. Ooh, baby. Be nice if I could hit a golf outright this week. A little Sepp Straka action to kind of make up for what I've lost on the NCAA tournament. But no, we're going to get all back today. Birdman, Big Ten got to regress from the perfect ATS mark. Not that I'd bet on them on just that, but 8-0 is going to. Did they go 8-0 in the first round? Wow. Shout out I feel like the Big Ten always they always overperform people's expectations in the tournament. Like we always find out tournament time that they're actually a better conference than we thought. The anti-Mountain West. But my Mountain West take, like I said, did not age well yesterday. Drake against Texas Tech. Drake against Texas Tech. I don't really know what to do here. Drake is just famous for melting in the tournament, but then they looked extremely good. They beat my Missouri Tigers. Oh, by the way, I didn't even show this. Rocking a Fordham jersey. Go Rams. Obviously not in the tournament. Their grad school's like 4 blocks north of where I live. I wish they made it. Hess win it all back on Akshay Masters. Akshay Bhatia to win the Masters. He is a lefty. Lefties do have a slight advantage at Augusta. Does he have the mental fortitude to win at Augusta? I don't know, but I don't hate that take, though, Hess. Historic first round for Big Ten, also for Vibe. Straka is my one-and-done pick, so let's get it. He is also my one-and-done pick in one of my pools as well, and my outright pick. And I got him at a good price. Got him at 25-1. And then when the tee times came out, he dropped all the way to 18-1. So, we need him to kind of go low. I think he's 4 back heading into today, but let's go, Birdman. Let's get some Sepp Straka action going. Yeah, it's 4 back heading into today. Anyone have a take on this Drake against Texas Tech? I'm just going to retweet. Why is it not actually showing? Does it not actually show unless you click on it? Why? I need a take from this game because I have 0 take between Drake and Texas Tech. I know what Texas Tech is actually a much better shooting team than they usually are, so I do like Texas Tech. I mean, Drake is just going to be a solid team all around. Very good defensively, but I mean, as good as the Texas Tech defense. 49th. This might be where I decide. So Drake mostly gets their. Didn't Texas Tech set the NCAA record in the first round for threes taken in a game? So how does Drake do defending the threes? Solid, especially lately, 25.8% over their last 3. Obviously, that's against weaker competition, Missouri Valley. Oh, man. 54. 11. What do we do here? Where are they in pace? Do I look at the total instead? Do I look at the total? First glance, I actually kind of like the over. Is that crazy? Drake's the one that plays the slowest in the country, don't they? Yeah. Texas Tech plays pretty slow, too. I think I kind of want to take the points with Drake. Is the total too much of a... What's Texas Tech's interior defense like? Solid. I mean, both good defensive teams. They're slow, but is a total a little bit of an overreaction to the pace? I truly have no idea what I want to do in this game. If there's one person in the chat who gives me a pick for this game, I will just take that. Because right now I don't know what I'm going to do. We're going to come back to that. If someone has a pick for it, let me know in the chat, and I'm just going to go ahead and tail you because that's the most baffling game of all time. Creighton against Auburn. Creighton. My issue with Creighton, they shoot the ball extremely well. One of the better shooting teams in the country. One of the better shooting teams in the tournament. But this is my issue. Extra scoring chances per game, almost dead last. 360th in extra scoring chances per game, minus 6.1. If you're going to win and cover spreads, you need to not be giving up an average of 6 extra scoring chances per game. Can Auburn take advantage of that? Yes. Obviously, Creighton is a Tech and the points. You mean Tech and laying the points? McCaslin, defensive game planning guru. You're saying laying the points with Texas Tech? Just confirm, Sawyer, that you're saying laying the points with Texas Tech, and if that's what you mean, I will take them. Creighton, obviously, a 3-point shooting team. Creighton, 11th in 3-point shot rate. It makes it pretty easy. I don't think actually Auburn does well defending the 3. No, I lied. They're one of the best in the country. Yeah, Creighton, I'm out on Creighton. They're a great shooting team, like I said, but I think a team that's this good defensively against Auburn, or in Auburn, I think they can force those turnovers. They can get a ton of extra scoring chances. And if they can defend the 3-point shot, which they've been able to do all season, I think they can win and cover against this Creighton team. I know the Auburn narrative is that they stumbled into the tournament. They didn't look great in the opening round. I'm not buying into that narrative. I think they wake up here. I'm going to lay the points with Auburn. Minus 8.5, minus 112 at DraftKings, minus 8.5, minus 110 at BetMGM, minus 8.5. Sounds good to me. Yeah, Birdman. Creighton ranks horribly in effective possession ratio and opponent effective possession ratio. They upset Louisville, who is solid in that stat. Not that it's a sole cap, but going to be hard to keep that up. Yeah, I agree. Creighton can shoot extremely well, but they have a lot of glaring weaknesses in a lot of other areas. D-Lig-T. Hey, great streamer, homie. Loving the vibes. Thank you. You sound like a bot, but I will take it. Hello, streamer. Hello, fellow streamer. All right, so we are laying the points. You're streaming pretty good. Yeah, this is the most bot of all time. You're streaming pretty good, and I love it. Keep it up, 100. Oh God, I want to be okay. This is okay. We're going down a path now. Laying the points with Auburn, and I will be tailing you, Sawyer, as well. I will lay the points with Texas Tech, which is concerning me because now we are laying the points all over the board here. What's the best number I can get in New York? 7.5 at minus 102 for DK. 7 minus 115 at Caesars. 6.5 minus 120 at FanDuel. Minus 7.5 minus 105. You know what? I'm gonna go 7.5 minus 102. Yeah, this is the greatest. This is the greatest game of all time. Yeah, that's not obvious or anything. All right, so here are the picks so far. I got to actually lock in Texas Tech and Auburn. So we are laying the points in 4 of the 5 games so far. What could go wrong? But I mean, if this continues to be a chalky tournament, it would make sense. It would make sense. BetMGM, I got Auburn minus 8.5. Beautiful. Yeah, D-Liggity, I'll add you on Discord if you tell me who you like in Texas Tech against Drake. And then only if it wins. DraftKings, and now we're going to go Texas Tech. 20. There we go. All right. Let's ride, Sawyer. Let's go. BYU, Wisconsin. I did have BYU losing to VCU in the opening round. BYU, I mean, they can shoot. This might be an over bet immediately. My immediate reaction is to bet the over. BYU, best shooting team in the tournament. No, Duke is remaining team is just Duke that shoots better than them. Wisconsin, also a very good shooting team, 60th in effective field goal percentage. Yeah, there are actually a lot of numbers are going to be very similar. And BYU is a 3-point shooting team. Wisconsin, I believe, is also, yep. So who defends the 3 better? Now, this is what I did last time against VCU, and VCU defended the 3 better, but it didn't end up mattering. BYU's perimeter defense, not good. Even worse lately. Team shooting 40.4% from beyond the arc against BYU lately. Not good. Wisconsin, not great either. Okay, now do I want to bet the over? Average in possessions. Man, these two teams are similar. Listen, this game is going to be whichever team gets hot from 3, which it scares me away from picking a side because, like, okay, how can you predict which team is going to be hotter? They're both great shooting teams. They both shoot a ton of 3s. Extra scoring chances. Wisconsin, not great. I don't think BYU is great either. BYU is a little bit better still. Average in pace, 155. I think I'm just going to bet the over and root for points. Because I don't see any differentiation between these two teams. Like I said, they're extremely similar styles. Whoever gets hotter from 3 will be the team that will win. Yeah, FanDuel is the best number. So I will take FanDuel. BYU, Wisconsin over 154.5. That's an obvious play, right? That's chalk. That's probably the bet everyone's placing. I haven't looked at anyone else's bets yet. Wisconsin 154 minus 115. All right, and we are locking that in. All right, let's keep it rolling. Time's at 11:03. What time is the first game? 12? 12:10? An hour till tip-off? $12.10. Let's want to bet some NIT second round action. Do you see Irvine play today? Where's my Anteaters playing in the NIT? Tomorrow night against Jacksonville State. That's an easy win. Going to lay the points in that one for sure. Gonzaga, Houston. I'm a Houston believer. I am a Gonzaga non-believer. This is an immediate bet for me. I famously said in the podcast this week, Ken Pom, Spen Pom, because of Gonzaga. And then I was all over Georgia, and then Gonzaga won by 88 points. But still, Houston is just a better version of Gonzaga. Houston is my favorite team to win. They're my pick in my bracket to win the tournament. It does kind of suck that in the second round, they're only a 4.5-point favorite. Gonzaga probably underseeded. Ken Pom, Spen Pom might have been right. But I still do believe in Houston. And it mainly comes down to my favorite stat. Best in the country by a significant margin in extra scoring chances per game, plus 8.1. Ooh, St. John's, minus 6. Against whatever team it was that they played in the first round, I forget. But, ooh, they got to fix that in a hurry. Yeah, I know Gonzaga's ranks high in that as well, but obviously, I mean, the competition between these two teams in conference play is night and day. The West Coast Conference sneaky kind of sucks outside of like 2 teams and then like 2 others that are half decent. Hess says, pick Houston to win it all, 3rd straight year. It's only crazy till it works. I'm right there with you, Hess. I think I've picked Houston to win the national championship probably 4 of the last 5 years. I think this is the year. And if they don't, next year I'll probably say that that's the year. But I'm high on Houston. But the issue before, when was it how long ago did they switch to the Big 12? Is it 2 or 3 years since they've been in the Big 12? Because before they were in the, AAC? And then there was like a lack of competition. But now they play good competition all year. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep riding. With Houston, -5, -5, -4.5, -4.5, -115. There we go. Locking in Houston. We're laying the points again. Oh, baby. Today better be chalky or else your boy's going to have a rough one. Okay, just locking that in. -4.5, -115. All right, that brings us to the last game of the day. It is UCLA against Tennessee. Who was it? Was it Sawyer or was it Hess in the chat that was saying team total under? Sawyer. I kind of just want to go overall under because UCLA is a pretty solid defensive team as well. 23rd defensive efficiency. UCLA is a 2-point shooting team for the most part. Misspelled Tennessee. Tennessee is a little bit of a... Tennessee is going to be able to shut down the interior of this UCLA. Yep. What's UCLA's perimeter defense like? Not bad. Where are we at in possessions? Slow. I think I'm gonna go full game under. Logan, hey Ian, I think I missed it earlier, but do you like Johnny's spread? Yes. Here's a little recap of my picks that I got so far. We got McNeese plus 6.5 against Purdue. Johnny's -6.5, -118 at FanDuel against Arkansas. Kansas. Texas A&M -2.5, -114 against Michigan. Texas Tech, we're laying the points. Auburn, we're laying the points. Over between BYU, Wisconsin, and we're laying the points with Houston. McNeese, the only underdog I'm riding with so far today. I am going to take the under in this Tennessee. Sawyer, I like the team total under look. I'm just not a team total guy, and I can't become a team total guy in the round of 32 of March Madness. So I will go. I do like unders though. I do like the under look. So I will go full game under here. What is the best price? Under 130.5 -115. Yeah, Caesars has a 30 at -110. Oh no, that's not dry. That's I definitely don't want. That's a bad number there. Yeah, let's go under 130.5 -115 between UCLA and Tennessee. So here are my picks. Here are my picks so far. Just take a look at that while I lock this pick in. Daisy, if you're going to keep meowing, you may as well come on stream, buddy. Meow! Come on. I'm going to pick you up. Come here. Oh, I got you. Oh, guest appearance. Guest appearance. What's your pick for today? Do you like McNeese? Oh, so now you don't want to say anything. She's still around. Famously part of my podcast cover art. She's a little bit more camera shy than she used to be. All right. We're going to knock out the entire round of 32. I got through that quick enough. We're going to knock out the entire round of 32. First game tomorrow, Sunday. We got UConn against Florida. Florida, pretty big favorite. UConn actually really liked Oklahoma in that game. And, of course, they didn't cover. Let's take a look here. Florida -9. I mean, Florida's so freaking good. And Florida's a 3-point shooting team, aren't they? Oh, my. Am I going to lay the points again? Yeah. And because UConn's perimeter defense not good. 232nd. Although they've gotten better on the perimeter lately, but that's mostly because of the outlier last game. I guess, Oklahoma, was not good from 3 against them. I mean, Florida's just going to be able to drain threes in this team, right? Listen, if I take every favorite, they can't all lose, right? I'll probably just end up going around 50%, right? Or maybe favorites just dominate this round. Does anyone in the chat have the record for how favorites did against the spread in the round of 64? I just like the Florida's kind of like a perfect basketball team. Like I don't really know what their weakness is. Yeah. Where UConn definitely has some weaknesses. So I believe thing that UConn does really well is they do play good defense in the sense I think they lead the country in blocks per game. Yep, 6.3 blocks per game. I mean, we're getting really into the nitty-gritty here. How many times does Florida get blocked? Yeah, not much. Not much. I hate to do this. I'm going to lay the points with another favorite. I mean, I did say this is a top-heavy tournament, so I guess like that does kind of back up that idea. Why does it not have most books on here? Why there's no FanDuel, there's no BetMGM, there's a DraftKings on here, no Caesars. What are we doing here? Birdman, shout out, thank you. Favorites 26-6 straight up. Oh my God, 15-9 ATS. Whoa, 26, only 6 upsets the entire first round. Wow. Holy moly. I mean, we all said it. Like I keep saying, we all said it was going to be a chalky tournament. I just got cat hair all over my face. All right, for some reason, BetStamp is not showing any other books like the other books in New York outside of DraftKings, so I'm just going to have to look. -9.5, -110 at FanDuel, so I'm going to lock it in a different book that has that number, at least for the app's sake. Sunday. Yeah, there's -9.5, -110s are widely available. So I will lock that in, and I will track it on Bet365. Daisy, please stop meowing. Okay. Baylor against Duke. Baylor might be the team from a power conference this season that going in the tournament I knew nothing about. I didn't watch it. I don't know if I watched or bet on a single Baylor game all season. I believe they're just kind of like an average, yeah. Not great shooting team, not great defensive team. They don't shoot the 3 or the 2. They're average in both of those. I'm guessing they're probably average in extra scoring chances per game as well. Anyone have a take on Baylor Duke? They do create some extra scoring chances. But obviously, so does Duke. How are we looking at for pace for these two teams? On the slower end, total is 144. Oh. Duke is a 3-point shooting team. How's that perimeter defense for Baylor? Not good. I want to lay the points again. This is bad. Duke is so good. Duke is a problem. 12 is a lot of points, though. Yeah, I don't know if I want to lay 12, though. I mean, Baylor's not a great team, but they're not bad either. 12 is a lot of points for like a couple of power conference teams. And they do create some extras. So where does this come from? Let's dive. Jeremy Roach revenge game. Duke by 90. Okay, Hess. Okay. Let's dive into these extra scoring chances a little bit closer here. Is it rebounding? So Duke does not turn the ball over. Yeah, I'm going to guess Baylor's probably a pretty solid offensive rebounding team. Yep. Can they grab some offensive boards against this Duke team? Duke's really good defensive rebounding team. I mean, Duke, obviously the better team. I don't know if I can get to 12. When you look at their average scoring margin, like, yeah, but here's another thing I want to say really quick. The ACC stinks. Clemson, both Clemson and Louisville, who are like supposed to be the next best ACC teams, got their asses kicked. Which in turn does kind of diminish what Duke did this season in conference play. And it does, you have to take that into consideration when looking at some of their numbers. I mean, leading the country in an average scoring margin. I think I'm going to take the points with Baylor. I like in my mind after quickly looking at these numbers, like 11.5. I might like is there an 11.5 anywhere? Not really. No. Well, 11.5 minus 114 there. I don't know. This is a I think I'm going to take the points at Baylor. This is a big spread. Minus 11.5 there. What's the best number I can get? A 12 there at Caesars. BetMGM is not on this list for some reason right now. Let me see what the BetMGM number is. Plus 11.5 minus 102. There's not even a book I can track that out here. I'm gonna take the 12 point. Is this bad? It might be a bad bet. You know what? No, I'm switching. I'm going Duke. I'm going Duke. I'm big braining it. Duke. Laid it with Duke. I big brained it. Not going to do that. Duke, the far better team. I'm just going to lay it with almost every single favorite in the second round. This is. Uh-oh. All right. Let's see if I can. Okay, here's an underdog I can get behind. Illinois against Kentucky. I like Kentucky. They proved that maybe they don't choke in the first round anymore now that Coach Cal is gone. They are a very good shooting team. Illinois is hot and cold with their shooting. Not great defensively. Yeah, I knew that. I don't think Illinois is not, an elite defensive team either. Slight lean towards 3-point shots, and I believe Illinois is a 3-point shooting team. How's that perimeter defense for Kentucky? Good. Yeah, I like Kentucky. I think Kentucky's kind of sneaky in this tournament. I think Kentucky's a team that had a lot of close games not go their way this season. And with a little bit more kind of, variance going their way, a little bit more luck go their way this season, I think Kentucky's being looked at as a legitimate contender. Am I crazy for saying that? Ooh, don't like that number. Okay, Illinois is not great either. Where does Kentucky lose their possessions? Is it turnovers or is it rebounds? It's not turnovers. I'm guessing they are not a great offensive rebounding team. Yeah, and they probably don't force turnovers either. Can they at least are they not going to give up possessions? Yeah, good D. Yeah, that's good enough for me. All right, I will take Kentucky. We're not going to bet all favorites today, folks. We are going to take an underdog here. It's a 1.5, not a big underdog, but it is an underdog nonetheless. Plus 1.5, minus 102 at FanDuel. Let me just check the BetMGM number because once again, for some reason, BetStamp does not have BetMGM numbers for Sunday's games. Kentucky plus 1.5, minus 110. So FanDuel is the better number there. We'll be taking that. All right. I mean, I do in my bracket. I believe I have Kentucky. Yeah, going to the Elite Eight, so it does add up with that. All right. St. Mary's against. Wow, I am shocked this is this low of a spread. Wow. Especially after St. Mary's, how they looked against Vanderbilt. I know Alabama. Is this an overreaction to the round of 64 for Alabama? Obviously, the key to beating Alabama is stopping their three-point shots and being able to score because their defense is not great. Okay, this complete contrasting of styles here. Is Alabama's interior defense any good? Not bad. St. Mary's pretty solid. What do we got here? I locked in Oregon money line plus 150. A little mad I missed the plus 5.5 opener and even plus 4.5 last night, but I'm a Ducks fan, so a little biased in this. Okay, we'll cross Oregon when we get to it here, Birdman. But if the line has already moved that much, that makes me concerned. St. Mary's, Alabama. These West Coast Conference teams are just so difficult to handicap because they're just not a good shooting team because their competition was just so bad. I mean, Alabama had, they had a good, what went wrong for Alabama? Was it their defense? Last game? I mean, their defense is not good. Yeah, that would do it. St. Mary's basketball. I just want to I want to take a peek at their out-of-conference schedule this year. They beat Nebraska by 3 points. It kept USC to 36 points. What? Lost Arizona State. Lost to a couple Mountain West teams. I mean, I'm just not a believer in these West Coast Conference teams. Obviously, they beat Gonzaga twice, which is impressive. But Alabama has a bad defense. What are we looking at for possessions here? What are we looking at for pace of play? Alabama, the fastest pace. St. Mary's, one of the slowest pace. This is an unbelievable contrast in styles. I'm going to lay the points with Alabama again. We're going back to another favorite. I did like when Alabama is just shooting as well as they can, and if they can just play at least decent defensively. Because I think the issue with Alabama is more their perimeter defense is solid. I guess they just don't force turnovers. Sue me, I still believe in Alabama. I'm not going to overreact to last game. 5.5s across the board. I'm going to believe in Alabama, and I'm probably going to live to regret that. Where's that? Oh, Oregon, the last game on the schedule. Colorado State against Maryland. I'm going to take Maryland. I've been talking up Maryland. They look great against Grand Canyon. One of my few winners. They're my pick to go to the. I have them going to the championship game, and then now they're taking on a Mountain West team. That seems like a no-brainer to me. Sorry, I'm just locking in this Alabama bet. Hess says Bama tried to rest Nelson, but he looked healthy in his 7 minutes. Feel like he's the difference if they win by 3 or 8. Great call. Put him in. Maryland, I don't even need to handicap this. I will continue to believe that Colorado State stinks. I believe Maryland is extremely underrated. I don't think the market is correct on how good this Maryland team is. They look fantastic against Grand Canyon. Colorado State can shoot. I'll give them that. But I don't think that's going to be enough. Yeah. They do one thing. They're a little bit of a three-point shooting team. And Maryland is 20th. Yeah. This is a no-brainer for me. What's the best number out there? -7.5, -105. Ooh, -7, -110 at Caesars. Ooh. I will be taking that number, please. Thank you. Oh, what have you done? All right, we're rolling. We're rolling. Any of you disagree with laying the points with Maryland? It's too late. I've already locked it in. Ole Miss against Iowa State. So Iowa State, what's the name of their best player that's out? That didn't seem to hurt them, but it also was against Lipscomb. Does that hurt them against a much better Ole Miss team? I think it might. I think I kind of want to take the points here with Ole Miss. What makes Iowa State so good is they force a ton of turnovers, I believe. 12th in opponent turnovers per possession. Does Mississippi turn the ball over? I actually think they might be one of the lowest teams in turnovers. Am I wrong? Third. Yeah, they don't turn the. That's actually their biggest strength is not turning the ball over. That to me immediately makes me think Ole Miss because they're going to nullify Iowa State's biggest advantage they have over other teams. Now let's look at some other stats. Yeah, they're not a great shooting team. They're average in shooting. Iowa State is a good shooting team. Iowa State's going to rank high in defensive efficiency because of those turnovers that they rank highly in. Let's just look at opponent shooting percentage. Yeah, still pretty solid. Mississippi's okay as well. Let's look at how they play. Iowa State's going to more attack you down low. Mississippi's pretty average. Something tells me that Mississippi gets a lot of their points from free throws. Is that true? Iowa State's top 100? No, they're both top 100. Do either of these two teams foul a ton? Personal fouls per game. Mississippi does. Yeah, that's not a big enough difference for me to sway. Yeah, I'm going to take the points with Ole Miss. I think as long as they don't let Iowa State force a ton of turnovers, I think they can keep this close, and I think maybe Iowa State missing whatever his name is. I'm terrible with remembering names. The guy was hurt for the rest of the tournament. That might come back to haunt them here in this one. Plus 5.5, -115. That looks like that's going to be the best number across the board. I will take Ole Miss plus 5.5 against Iowa State. All right, we're coming up to the end of it. There's that UC Irvine game tomorrow. Ooh. Just got to lock in this Ole Miss bet. All right. New Mexico against Michigan State. I need to continue to fade the Mountain West. I've said it too much to go back on it now. Is there a different bet that I could look at, though? Could I bet the total again? See, this is why I don't totally trust Michigan State. That's not championship. That's not championship caliber shooting right there. New Mexico can't shoot either, though. Let's go back to defensive efficiency. New Mexico, yeah. Michigan State, yep. But the issue, I think both these teams played a pretty fast pace. New Mexico definitely does, I believe, right? Yeah, New Mexico is one of the fastest pace teams, and I think I'm just going to keep betting unders in Michigan State games. This is still too high in my opinion, especially for. I mean, these two teams are very similar. Average offenses, elite defenses. Let's take a look at floor percentage, which is one of my favorite stats to look at for totals. Percent of opponents' possessions that result in at least 1 point being scored. There's New Mexico 17. There's Michigan State 21st. Yep. 62nd. Ooh, 18th. Michigan State actually ranks pretty high. Do they get some? Are they the team that gets a ton of points? Yeah, Michigan State gets a ton of points at the foul line. So does New Mexico. Both teams that get to the line a lot. That might hurt a total bet. But then how often do both teams foul? New Mexico kind of does foul a lot. And so does Michigan State. I still like the under. 148 and a half. 140, 148. 148 and a half minus 110. Yeah, under 148 and a half minus 110. We are locking that in between New Mexico and Michigan State. Which leaves us to the last game of the round of 32. Oregon and Arizona. Now, Birdman, you said that you locked in Oregon money line plus 150. This is a little interesting former Pac-12 matchup, eh? This is a matchup that we used to see all the time, twice a year, at least. I locked in Oregon money line plus 150. A little mad I missed the plus 5.5 opener. Even plus 4.5 last night. Yeah, it looks like it's plus 3.5 across the board. A plus 4 out there. Yep. I do feel like we all have some scar tissue with Oregon, or not Oregon, with Arizona in the tournament the past number of years. Arizona has failed to deliver several times over the past number of years in the tournament. I have picked them to win the championship. Every year for the past 6 years, I either pick Arizona or Houston. I never pick the right winner. Okay, how's that interior defense of Oregon? Where are these teams ranked in that extra scoring chance stat? Yeah, Oregon's not great. Arizona a little bit better. Listen, Birdman. I agree. I think if you get a 5.5, I think that was the right side. And now I think maybe it's overcorrected a little bit. Am I crazy for saying that? 2 points, it's moved. I feel like if I wanted to take Oregon, I feel like I lost the chance to do that. I feel like now I need to buy back the other way. I think I have to take minus 3.5 on the Wildcats. 152.5. What are we looking at for possessions? Yeah. I think I'm going to go the other way, Birdman. I'm going against you. Best luck, but I think if I wanted Oregon, I think I had to do it last night. I think I have to hopefully buy back the other way. Minus 3.5, minus 115, which I believe, unless I missed a game, I believe that's it. So we're just locking in this last bet. All right, I think that's it. In Dana Altman, we trust. Best of luck. Okay, so here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, already lost CLB on Tennessee, UCLA under. Tough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I miscounted again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There you go. Those are my bets for the round of 32. To recap, McNeese plus 6.5 against Purdue, St. John's minus 6.5 against Arkansas, Texas A&M minus 2.5 against Michigan, Texas Tech minus 7.5 against Drake. Hate the Drake. Auburn minus 8.5 against Creighton. Over 154.5 BYU, Wisconsin. Houston minus 4.5 against Gonzaga. UCLA, Tennessee under 130.5. Florida minus 9.5 against UConn. Duke minus 11.5 against Baylor. Kentucky plus 1.5 against Illinois. Bama minus 5.5 against St. Mary's. Maryland minus 7 against Colorado State. Ole Miss plus 5.5 against Iowa State. New Mexico, Michigan State under 148.5, and then Arizona minus 3.5 against Oregon. Everyone underestimated Oregon first round, taking Liberty plus the points. About to happen again. Very possible, my friend. I was one of the guys who also took Liberty plus the points. So I certainly could live to regret that once again, especially if the Big Ten stays as hot as they were in the first round. There you go. Those are my picks for the round of 32. Not usually how I do it. Also, this is the first time I've live streamed in years. But a little bit of a hectic weekend here with preparing for the move back to Canada. So thank you for watching along. Best of luck. Gamble or bless. Let's fight back a little bit here. Tough first round. 12 and 20 I went in the first round. One step at a time. Let's have a profitable day today. Let's have a profitable day tomorrow. We don't need to win all the bets all at once. Let's take some steps in the right direction. Gamble or bless. Good luck. I'll talk